Follow the sound.
So the customary good evening, rather very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Those on the screen and those not on the screen. Sincere gratitude to ASSOCHAM and FFI for getting this quorum together. And of course, this quorum is to talk about the new normal as far as entertainment is concerned. I would first invite Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani to set the ball rolling for all of us, and then we go by the order which we had set for ourselves, and I'll do a small introduction then. In between, if there's a very compelling point which someone wants to put, please raise the finger and can interject. Doc Saab, over to you. Thank you so much for helping us set the ball rolling in a short time. There you go, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rahul. I'm really happy to be here this afternoon with on the joint auspices of ASSOCHAM and FFI. Really grateful to the President, Firdaus Hassal. Thank you very much for being partnering with us. Thank you, Rahul, wonderful director. Thank you very much, Mr. Chatterjee, Prosenjit. It's nice to have you over here. Of course, we have the beautiful Ms. Shobna. Thank you for being here with us today. Senthil of Cube Cinema. Saloni, I can't see you, but I presume you're here. And Rahul Nera, thank you very much for being over here today. Very challenging times, and something which is extremely upsetting when I hear the news and see the news as to what is happening with this coronavirus. Most of all, I feel very upset about the migrant workers. I mean, these people in thousands, in lakhs, in millions maybe, going and walking 1,000 kilometers, 1,500 kilometers to go back home. You have trains lying in the yards, you have buses in the ST depots, and all these people are still walking to go back home. I mean, it's almost like 1947. I wasn't born then, but nevertheless, heard about it and stuff like that. Never thought that in a democratic country like India, we would have to have this kind of thing. But coronavirus is a paradigm, something which absolutely destabilized everybody. It took strong action of our Prime Minister to begin with it, but later on, I don't know what went wrong. Lots of positive efforts have been made both by the government at the state and the center, and all the other people have cooperated, some more and some less. Our industry, the film industry and the hotel industry, the restaurant business have been hugely affected. What a contradiction in terms. Contradiction because people are being entertained every day through the internet, through the TV media, and still the industry is suffering. I think this is an issue that we need to address today, and I'm very happy that we are now going to discuss the new normal today. The challenges of the new normal, which is going to affect not only the entertainment industry, but all industries. Every single business is going to be affected. Never ever dreamt that we would be on a webinar to have a conference or discussion like this. But this is the new reality. And we will all have to face this new reality for some time, at least, till a vaccine now found out. However, let's get down to the new normal that we talk about and hear from all the experts over here today in order to share with each other what this needs to be done. I think the Film Federation really has taken a good role in order to put all these things. And if you can actually document what the film industry needs in terms of help from the government, ASSOCHAM is ready to represent you and the entire industry to the government, as we are always doing for all sectors of the society. We have had interactions with the Prime Minister, his office, the Finance Minister, various people from INP and other government agencies, the Reserve Bank of India Governor. All these agencies have interacted with ASSOCHAM on a continuing basis. I myself have had several such interactions. We've also been interacting with the media in order to inform them as to the needs of all types of industry. And we will be very happy to see to it that we can partner with you in a more proactive sort of way. Once we understand what are the needs of industry, what is it that we can really do to help industry to take it to the next level. But we do understand that this change and this lockdown was necessary. So we are fully cooperating with the government in the lockdown issues. We're not happy with all the things that are happening, including the migratory labor. We are really upset about those type of things and maybe of certain other things too. But nevertheless, I think all in all, the government has been very proactive in order to take a fast decision to lock down, in order to see that the number of deaths which took place in other countries of the world did not take place in India. So we are blessed with a good leadership in our country. I'm so glad that we are here today, and really ASSOCHAM would like to partner with you in a much stronger way in the future with the FFI in order to say that not only this program, but what else can we do together in order to furtherance the requirements of industry? What is it that we can play a greater role in terms of doing it, and maybe doing on a regular basis? So welcome all of you to this seminar, and please roll out, because you are the best persons who can tell us what the needs of industry are and what the new normal will be in future. Thank you very much, everybody, and most welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for your wise and kind words. Really appreciate that. And we'll take up on the offer of following this with a paper and with the states and with the center to take this to a logical conclusion. And I'm more than happy to play executive assistant to all of you in this journey. Film Federation of India started in 1952, for those who would not know. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Film Federation of India, for those who would not know, was started in 1952. 18,000 producers are a part of it, 20,000 distributors have been a part of it, and 12,000 exhibitors are a part of it. And in more ways than one, it is the Sutradhar for the whole cinema industry, and it's presided over by Firdauls Saab. Sir, over to you to set the ball rolling for the industry. Thank you, sir. Please.
Can you hear me now?
We can all hear you.
Very good evening to all of you, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizer, ASSOCHAM, and Rahul Nara, who is like a younger brother to me. And once again, thanks for inviting Film Federation of India and making us a part of this event. To tell about myself, I am by profession, I am a film producer, businessman, and I am into film out of passion, because I believe that film is a passion-driven profession. So just to start with, Dr. Niranjan has just told that challenges and everything which is with our film industry. So I think that these challenges are not what is now is not a new thing to the film industry. The film industry's first challenge was the day television was introduced to our life, way back in the 70s or maybe late 60s. The time when television was introduced, film industry thought that we got a competitor. Maybe a few portion of our audience will be divided and they will be in their house watching television. But on the other hand, we got a new life. The old films got a new piece of life. The Doordarshan started purchasing the old films. slowly, Doordarshan started producing fictional, non-fictional program. People, lot of technicians getting involved, lot of assistant director, they're getting a job. Parallel industry started coming up. After that, in the late 80s, we have seen the rise of video VCR, and with that came the biggest threat of the film industry, that is piracy. You all must agree that at that time, many producers used to sell their movie directly to the VCR video companies, and in Friday when the film is used to release, the same day the cassettes were available in the market. You can see, and they used to give the cassette in hourly basis. The big films, every films, all the films were available that time. And in the 90s also, if you are aware, I think that time this culture of video hall came up, and there was at one point of time there was more video hall than cinema halls. But on the other hand, that time producers started selling video right. They started a new way of earning money for their recovering money for their film. Then came satellite. With satellite again, the other industry like the television, the fiction, non-fiction, this industry started growing. And now after satellite, we are facing this new OTT things and internet, the piracy in the form of YouTube. Pictures are loaded in the YouTube. So these are all things are happening from decades. And still, the good thing was that apart from all these challenges, our industry is growing. We had a growth of we had a steady growth in the last 3-4 years. And apart from the growth, there is a curiosity, there is a awareness, there is a want in the youth, in the students. If you have noticed that earlier there was only one institute which we used to call the Pune Film Institute, but now a lot of colleges, a lot of universities, they are offering mass communication with film studies, with videography, and students are coming up, students are getting interested in it. The thing that what I was focusing on, that apart from all these challenges, still before this COVID-19, we had a very steady growth. Maybe we used to count our success of the film through days. Earlier we used to count that silver jubilee means 25 weeks. Now we count our success on 25 days. We count our film by number of shows, 24 shows. The stars, they compete with each other, how many shows the multiplex are giving us. So things have changed, but there was a rapid growth. But now all of a sudden this coronavirus, this COVID-19 came into our life, not only in India, but it is a pandemic. It's all over the world. And not only the film industry at particular, but all the industry is facing a lot of problem. And we don't know. We don't know what will happen. We are totally in the dark. We don't know when the halls will be open, and what will be the ways, what will be the scenario, and what will the process by which audience will come, whether audience will come or not, whether big films will be released or not. So I think at this juncture, it is very difficult for us to go for a complete solution. It's not possible to go for a complete solution. The best we can go for some best solution, or maybe a partial solution. The last few days, you all may be watching that some producer are selling their movies in OTT channel. Some multiplexes are writing letter. This things is going on, but I think that both are right from their own stand. Today, a lot of producers, especially the small producers, they produce their film taking a loan, taking finance from lot of financier with high interest, and it is difficult for them to hold the film when they are getting a chance to sell the film in the OTT platform. They want to realize their money. They want to give back their money to the producers and start a new film. But we cannot survive. We cannot. The film industry cannot survive only depending on OTT and satellite, because in a year there are few films that earn a revenue of 200-300 crores. that is only possible if we have a theatrical release, because OTT platform maximum producers who are able to sell their film in the OTT platform can only recover 20 to 25% of their cost, not more than that. And also larger films mean the films that are made of a budget of 100 crores. That films can only be that money can be realized only through domestic and as well as overseas theatrical release. And also, if you have noticed that there is a trend now that most of our big actor or star, so-called star, they are all have become a producers now. Either they are co-producing film or they are producing in their own banner. And for them, I think selling a picture in a OTT platform is just like they won't do it because it will they have a brand value. They don't want to spoil their brand value. I think selling a film like Star, like Prosenjit Da is there, like the Khans, another thing. Selling, making a film and selling it to only OTT film, it will not do justice for their stardom. It is on the other hand, it may be easier. It may be easier for small producer that I told you. For them, it is easier to sell their film in the OTT platform, and also movies with large set, with extravaganza, with fight sequence, with like film like Avengers, Akbar, Yoda Akbar, all this film, this content is only meant for cinema. It's a cinema consumption movies. So these movies only can be enjoyed by the audience in the big screen. And also there's one more market. The market, this is a large, we have a big untapped opportunity for original dub content to be released in Hindi language. That too can boost big collection in the box office. And I believe that theater will be never short of content, because if you see in India is one of the largest film producing country in the world. On an average, 2,500, 2,600 films are produced in a year. Out of that, 2,000 plus movies are, I think, censored, and 1,500 movies are released. Out of that, around 350 to 400 films are Hindi films. Rest are regional film. And instead of this, there are also 20 to 25% of film that doesn't get a chance in the hall. They doesn't get a programming. They doesn't get theaters. You all know that at present we have 6,300 single screen and around 2,500 multiplexes. So it's nearly 8,500 to 9,000 screens we have. Whereas we should, this is also our work. We should promote this and take the presence of screen at least 25 to 30,000 in all over India. According to a survey, it was told that the population and the area India has, there should be 30,000 cinema halls all over India. And I always advocated, and I always believe that movie is going to a hall and watching a movie is a community activity, and that should be promoted because in today's world we are lacking in that thing. Watching a film in a mobile or a OTT platform is always an individual activity. I think that community activity should be promoted, and that can be done only going to the theater hall. Another area that I want to bring to your notice is that we have a large number of daily wage workers in our film industry. Basically, if you see that we have 6 places where our industry, or we have organized film industry, that is 4 in the south, that is Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Hyderabad and Chennai, and in Mumbai where we have Hindi film market, Bhojpuri, Gujarati and Marathi, and in Bengal. So there's a huge, in this 6th place, there's a huge number of daily wage workers who are ignored. Basically, they are not ignored. They are not being recognized. If you all know that we are, though we are banned as a sin industry, we are called as a sin industry, but we are one of the highest revenue earner for the government. The government gets a lot of revenue and tax from us, and I don't know how much percent of that are being used for the development of the film industry. It had been most of the money that is earned from the film industry are used in a different other purposes. And today, if we are crying, we are saying that farmers are dying, people are committing suicide. The government is saying that we should do for the farmers, we should give them cash, money, everything. But I say you friends that in our film industry, we have lot of daily worker, we have even producers, we have even actors who are in a very, very bad shape, in misery, in pain. They have no work because the only work they know is film. And today they are in very, very bad condition. Whatever is done for them is done uh, from by the industry people. Nothing had been done from the government, because whatever we give, we want the government should do something for the film industry from our money. We are not telling the government to invest money from their treasury, but what money they are collecting from us in the form of tax, certain percent should be used. Otherwise, our position will become like Doordarshan. You know, Doordarshan at one time was the biggest revenue earner, but whatever money they collected from Doordarshan, they never invested in Doordarshan. And so what happened when private satellite channel came, they were unable to compete with them. Today, we filmmakers, we used to make film that today, if my film is good, if I get an award or if I am selected in a panorama, I have Doordarshan will buy my film. But for the last 10 years, Doordarshan is not buying any film. So winning a national award or getting your film in the panorama, we have just a certificate from the government, but nothing more than that. But still, I like to say that 90% of the film of our film fails in the box office, but still the industry is not shutting down. This is the beauty of our film industry. That 90% of our film fails in the box office, but still we are running the industry. And Film Federation always tried to educate the officers, the ministers, and we play as a bridge between the industry and the government. And it is our duty to work for the betterment of the industry, but it is only possible when we speak in one voice. Maybe we have different languages, but there should be one voice and one agenda, that is betterment of the film. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Firdaus Saab. Welcome, Senthil sir. How are you? So just wanted to add one thing. Firdaus Saab said that the actual market size is about 30,000 screens. May just be worthwhile to add that Jadoos is trying to see if it can do a 25 site pilot with the MSME policy, which has just been introduced by the Honorable Prime Minister to make open air theaters, but first day, first show capable, and then see how that goes. Probably it'll help in employment, it'll help in doing a pilot to expand across the villages, which today stands totally untapped. 50 crore people probably have not seen a movie in their entire lives, and they lie in the rural diaspora. So we were talking of challenges, and with us we have someone who made Yodha and made Arjun, right, Rahul sir? And I would understand in these times of COVID, you need a lot of Yodhas and probably a lot of Arjuns to fight this battle. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rahul. Hi, Senthil, for a long time. I want to thank Mr. Hiranandani, but he's not here. Also, Mr. Hassan, for what you said. I think where we are leading to is a new order as far as filmmaking goes. I've been born in my father was a filmmaker himself. So since I was born, I've been hearing about the industry very much. I think Prasenjit also has been through the similar kind of experience. And every 4 or 5 years, I used to hear a sentence saying that this is the last year of the industry, and the industry is closing down. Well, it's been 67 years to me since I've been born, but the industry is still very much there. It hasn't gone anywhere and still is going to be there. Challenges will keep coming. I think now, with this new order which we're going to see, which has happened because of COVID, it's thrown everything out of gear completely. And the OTT platforms are there, and there is this fear that the theatrical business will get ruined because of the OTTs. Now, I don't believe that. I believe that an experience, a cinematic experience, what you enjoy in the theater is something which cannot be paralleled on an OTT or on the satellites. So that's a different experience watching a film which is made for the theater. What I presume what will happen is that we will definitely have films which are made for a theatrical experience. There will be another order which will be films made for the OTTs. There are two different genres completely. If you're going to make a film for the OTT, it's got to be shot in its own way. Everything moves according to the genre we are moving into. Right now, what is coming on the OTTs there are some very good shows which are coming from all over the country, and they're really doing well. But unfortunately, there have been some films which have released on the OTTs prior to the COVID were also films which were not finding a theatrical release. Right? So they were coming onto the OTTs. Today, the producers who are coming onto the OTT are producers who have no choice. So they've come into severe stress, which is natural. They have interest. They have lots of stuff that they have to get over. And for them to get over it is the OTT. I'm sure that most of them must not be liking the idea of doing it, but they are forced to do it because they have, financial constraints and stuff like that. Now, what's happening with the feature films is that the stars who actually form a large part of the entertainment industry are the stars. Now here we have a star with us. Prasenjit is here, who's a huge star in Bengal, and I'm sure even Prasenjit as an individual and for the kind of work he does, he would prefer working for the big screen. If somebody came to him for film for the OTT, I think he would accept it, provided it was a film being made for the OTT, which is not happening. So I think an order will come up now where you will find producers, you'll find directors, you'll find technicians, you'll find actors, or who are wanting to go specifically for the OTTs. You will also have a set of new talent coming in as far as actors go. Today the television industry has brought so many popular names on TV. I don't watch them, but I do realize that there are lots of stars on TV. I'm sure there are lots of stars on OTT. But what is going to stay, the theater will always be there. That I think will always stay. Because that experience is a different experience. And the OTT is not the end of it. With technology going, something else will keep coming in. We'll constantly have to reinvent ourselves into this. The only side I see which has been a little, which would be good for the industry is, I think Mr. Hassan would, we have been running, producers have been running through a very tough time with the multiplex owners. I'm being very candid, very honest. The multiplexes have been treating the producers you're not treating the producers as your partner. Very much your whole business runs because of the producer. You have been exercising, a lot of high-handedness as far as producer goes. You release a film. Firstly, you pick out a film which you want. There's no choice that the producer has. You release it in whatever shows you want to release. You remove it from a theater whenever you want to remove it. You charge exorbitant monies. I'm not complaining about you charging for the concessionaries and all that. That's fine. But you charge exorbitant amount of money. You have exorbitant ticket rates. You take a lion's share of that money, right? In the first week, you pay 50% to the producer. In the second week, 45%. And from the third week onwards, you are paying 35% to the producer. So, you are taking over a lion's share. And you've always been dealing with an upper hand. I think, now it's a time where they are finally, they've been saying now, we are requesting producers not to go the OTT way. That's fine. Even the producer does not want to go the OTT way. I think we really need to sit down. We need to sort out our terms with each other in a better way, because we've got to hold each other's hands to really get there. It's very unfortunate that we don't hold each other's hands and the multiplexers decide what they want to do. This is purely my feeling, and I'm glad that Dr. Hiranandani said that he would be happy to take whatever problems the industry's got ahead to to Delhi and get things cleared and to help the industry out. I'm sure Mr. Hassan would really be able to work on that. And also, more theaters is what we need. We definitely need more theaters also. And theaters which are made reasonable for people to watch. There is a money cost to everything. So I think smaller theaters in other smaller areas it would be a very, very good venture. Now, I've been to Khajuraho for a film festival, and I was surprised that Khajuraho does not have a single cinema hall. Anybody who wants to see a film in Khajuraho has to drive down about 60 kilometers away to see a cinema hall. So in Khajuraho, during the festival, you have the little tents kind of things put up, with projectors, and there's a huge crowd of people wanting to watch them. So I think the cinema can really progress in a big way. And also today, the thing that we spoke about, the regional cinema, I think that's all nonsense. There is no regional cinema anymore. It's all Indian cinema. The kind of films I've been watching over the last couple of years, I think what I've been watching in Bengali or in Canaries or in Malayalam, I think somewhere, we need to hang our heads in shame from Hindi cinema, because these guys are doing a far better job than we are. Let's be honest about it. So the cinema movement will carry on, will be there. They will try and make it more easier for people to watch. And the OTTs will also be it'll be a new form of filmmaking. It won't be called filmmaking, but it's the same thing, but in a different format. And that's what I see the future actually getting to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Awesomely said that there's another window which has come, which will have a different gene to itself. And at this juncture, I'd request Prasenjit sir, 350 films, sir, if I'm not wrong, started with Choto Jigyaso, and the last one was Ravivar.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
So
I'm sorry to interrupt, Prasenjit. You've done 350 films?
No, more than
347.
400 plus. This completely is nearing toward 500.
I don't believe
He's nearing toward 500 now.
I'm sorry, I'm just deviating a little bit. This is really something which I can't imagine. And he's really young. He's got so many years ahead. I think by the time he finishes his career, he'll probably have done something like 3,000 or 4,000 films. Because
He will be like our second sir.
I've been seeing him in diverse films and diverse characters, diverse roles, and I've already told him at the festival that I meet him. And this reminds me, sorry, I'm just deviating, but there were these writers in the South. They were called the Parchuri brothers. And Mr. Ramanadu, who was a very prominent producer, he was making a film with the Parchuri brothers. I met him there, and there were two of them that wrote together. And I said, how many films have you done? So they said, we've done 250 pictures. So I said, as writers, you've written 250 films. And Mr. Naidu said, sir, they're very lazy. That's why they've written only 250 films. So if they were active, I think Mr. Naidu expected them to write about 1,000 films or something. But personally, I'm really very impressed with you. I honestly am.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
So, in fact, thank you, Rahulji, and to organize this meeting, and thank you everybody for joining this. Well, I think all the senior people and the expertise people from Firdaus to Rahulji, everybody said, and those are the real facts and figure. But what I really need to say, I need to start from a different angle. In fact, last 5-6 years back, when I used to, go to some of these seminars, I don't know, when I used to always say one thing, that now the time is going to change. So we need to say that we say that we are film producer, or we say we are television software producer. I used to always say that we need to say that we are content provider. This I started saying it from last 4 or 5 years, because I believe that there are a lot of screen which had come, and those are important, and we need to see that we make good content. It's for maybe for a big screen, maybe for television, or maybe for OTT platform, or maybe even for a small film, short film for your mobile phone. So there are a lot of screen coming up. So, but today when we are discussing, we are all sitting in a lockdown situation, and today we have to understand that the producers who are spending a lot of money, and when a producer spends money, it is a huge numbers of technicians to actors, not only technicians and actors, I'm talking about the theaters, to the, and a lot of people are, if I talk about the regional industry, I know there are 1,000 and 1,000 people are, it's like a chain, it's just like a chain, it's all over India. So I think we need to first see that, and we need to understand, that's my a bit of experience working in this industry for last 30 years, that we need to first see that how our producer at least can come to a break even. That's how we operated. Rahulji, you must be knowing, when a film gets an actors, we say that, okay, let us stand beside the producer, let us see if he has lost the money, if he can do something else to get back his money. That's the way this industry has been moving, that kisi ka agar paisa loss ho gaya, so we need to stand beside them. Today also, I think the time has come that we need to see that how a producer can at least come up to a position that he can think about starting something new. So I don't want to say that television or OTT platform or cinema has been facing these challenges from years. Even I think Firdosji also said the same thing. When Doordarshan came, when the home theaters came, when this video came, then the cable operator came. Always it has been a threat that people are not going to go to the theaters. But I'm sure theater has its own magic. It's a time now we all are sitting and we are discussing, which is not a very right time, very good time. We all know we are going to face, especially I'm talking about entertainment industry, because the kind of work we do when we create our content, we need a lot of people. We can't do like 2 or 3 or 5 people. It has to be at least 40-50 people on the set. And our consumer is also that when we get a house full, then where the money comes. So both ways, there are a lot of people is needed to make the content, and of course to market it, and then to go to the consumer. So in this case, right now, the place where we are sitting is a really a tough time. Honestly, even if somebody asks me what is the remedy, I don't think so. None of us can say right now sitting here that what is the remedy. We can't see any remedy, but we need to find out. And my way of thinking is that I had faced it in my own region, and as Firdaus is one of the very important producer from Calcutta also. There are a lot of good films happens, which Rahulji was also saying. Sometime when it gets released, when a big film comes, they hardly get any show timing, and some it needs little time to get that mouth publicity, and so that space is also not there. Finally, this film is watched maybe in later in an OTT platform where huge number of people are watching it, appreciating it. They're putting it into the social media. But in theaters, because it can't be kept, there are a lot of pressure on the theaters. Especially I'm talking about multiplexes. When we used to do films, we used to depend mainly on single screen. And we used to always say it's a mouth publicity, which was very important that time. People came out from the theater and say, "Bahut badhiya picture, it's a fantastic film." So people used to, then the box office used to increase. Now that it's like a one day. We have to see that within first week, mm, your target has to be this. In second week, your target has to be this. Sometime for a maybe a non-big star cast, always it is not possible. Then your option becomes other option, which is good, which is television, of course, which was also television. Now it is OTT platform. And let me be very honest, in terms of a production producer, when we do a budget of a film with any kind of a star, we always take in the budget, the recovery budget, satellite rights, it's in the budget. We always count OTT platform today's date. So that is also, we say that this is also a budget. And then we come to the theatrical, and when the box office becomes big, then the film becomes really big. So I think everything is connected. So now in recent past, I'm seeing a lot of controversial thing happening, but I think it is, we need multiplexes, we need theaters, and cinema is going to remain as it was always. But now I think it is one very important thing which I really need to say to all of you. We all produce the regional industry, Hindi film, Tamil, Telugu, Marathi, but we finally produce Indian cinema. I think in this lockdown, I don't know how it is possible, but if we can create a body which we say that it is an Indian cinema body, it's a family. Because now if we don't stand, whether it is a producer, whether it is an exhibitor, whether it is an actor, actress, whatever, all directors, all need to come and format a very reasonably good body who are very much senior to us, some senior people from different region, and they say that we are here to think about the entire film industry of Indian cinema. There has to be a big platform to support us, to guide us basically, and talk on behalf of us. There are a lot of bodies, we know we have Bombay, in Kolkata, we have in everybody, there are a lot of body are there. But I think this is a high time if we can get a Indian cinema body right now to fight this corona and this situation, whose guideline can be, yeah, I mean, everybody has to, see and listen to them. It's a very important thing right now. That's my kind of a vision I have now, if we can create it. Otherwise, yes, it is a very tough time, and we need to fight back, and we need to keep our patience, because if tomorrow we start our film shoot, we can't shoot. I mean, people are saying a lot of things. People are making a mock out of actors that heroine can't come close. But I know in cinema it really doesn't happen. Sometime maybe in other medium you can shoot very separately in other medium. But in films, the way we shoot now in the realistic, in real locations, hardly we shoot in studios now. We need, the film format has changed, the look has changed. So it is a very difficult situation to shoot right now, and exhibition is also a very difficult situation. And I think this open space has to be there for producers to see that how they at least recover the money right now, because the producers who are investing money have to see if they make a venture, they make a production, they start the film from pre-production. So it takes around 1 year to complete a film, and there's a huge money which has also interest amount. So we need to see if we can recover maybe 60-70% of that. So it is no challenges, and I can, as everybody said, and I'm sure the entire world will say, cinema has always been challenged, and we have been listening it for every 8-10 years. Some new technologies coming, and cinema is gone. No, cinema has its own magic, and people are going to come to theaters to watch a good cinema. So I think that's what I really want to say.
Sir, thank you. Thank you so much. I think I and Varun have some homework of kind of taking the thought on the Indian film body. I may be allowed to reach out to all of you separately to exchange notes and to see how this can be coordinated. And Firdausa, be rest assured, I'm going to disturb you a lot on this. So there was a statement which George Soros actually very interestingly said. In the 20th century, there were 2 world wars, almost 3 pandemics, 4 depressions, 5 recessions. But the Dow Jones went 1,200 times from 66 to 11,500. So all I can say, yes, there may be a fight ahead, but we've had 3 world wars in the last, 2 world wars in the last decade, and we've come out stronger. From this, we move on to a lady who has traversed, performed in the villages of Kerala, and also at the Broadway. And somewhere in between, she did 200 films also. And everything seems to be connected. Shobna ji, over to you.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you, though. I wish the circumstances were very, very different. So let me just tell you, I'm just here as a spectator because I'm also very, very confused. I belong to the older set of actors, and I haven't actually worked with a lot of digital cinema. I'm so old-fashioned. I just did a film recently after a hiatus of about 5 years. It was a very clean film, and the film was a super hit. It just released like a couple of months ago. It's very difficult to make a film without a star and it's still being a hit, right? Without your typical masala quotients, whatever, commercialism. And when unfortunately this happened, and it was so depressing, because all the people who made the film, they're very young. The director is young, he made his first film. And it is so difficult to make a film a hit, isn't it? So just when everything was going so well, the theaters were all full. I went from Chennai to Kerala and I saw the film in a theater after a long time. I saw it in the day. It was a full house. It was a weekday. And the thrill that I got out of seeing my own film was just phenomenal. There is nothing to beat the thrill of going to a movie house. Now, we all know that films have seen its challenges and everything, but also it's just not about the magic of the big screen. It's about us actually preparing and going for a film socially, as Mr. Firdaus said. Now, that is what there's a big problem here, isn't it? So nobody knows at this time. I've been speaking to a few of my colleagues in preparation for this meeting. All the stars, all those brand names are sitting in their homes so depressed. Everybody's like, we don't know. So I asked them the same questions. I said, do you think, your films will actually go to the smaller televisions? And they said, no. Right now, we don't know. We don't know anything. So right now they said, no, this is going to be okay. The films are going to go out. We have to show it in the theaters. Otherwise, we'll all lose a lot of money. This is what the really big actors and producers are hoping and praying at this point of time, that their films will still go there. So I hope and pray that everything goes away soon. It's like a nightmare. But I'm here representing another form of entertainment, which is a content maker, the creator. So what I do is I also perform Bharatanatyam. So for me, now when you talk about, there is nobody here now to watch me. I usually do performances for about 5,000 people live in a classical niche, 5,000 people, 10,000 people. The beauty of performing live for them is something phenomenal. Now, keeping that aside, we are all confused here. As a performer, I also want to be on an OTT. Everybody wants to be on an OTT. Everybody is going berserk. Everybody is making content. Everybody is, cramming the net with their stuff. They're singing, they're dancing, they're doing this. I also want to do it. Everybody is going wild. But I have a problem here because my kind of performance, the beauty of it is also spiritual. Now, for me, the challenge of another kind of an entertainment module is not just shooting in my house. That's only content. So if it was just a content, it's fine. If it's just dancing, it's okay. But unfortunately, I have to create a rasa. I have to create an ethos, which is spiritual. Now, how do we take that and show it on a small phone? Senthilji, can you just see if you can answer my question? It is so difficult for me. I'm trying to break my head here. I'm saying if it's just dance you want, we can dance. But it's this abhinaya. How do you create that magic of that, mythology of a dance, which is a relatively a small, niche market? It's not like your big films. How do you bring it on a small phone? And how do you create that magic? You might need to unmute him, Raman.
Sorry, I was on mute. No, this is the magic of a live performance where you share your emotions with the audience and you play off the audience's emotions and grow from that. And that's what's going to be impossible without that. And that's the same magic of a movie theater. It's not just being in having a large screen that makes the difference. It's much more than that. It's having the audience around you in that dark room where you're a slave to the screen, where you can't shut it off, you can't pause it for a second, and where everybody's laughing or crying or angry at whatever's going on the screen at the same time, and those emotions are what make that performance so much more enjoyable. And of course, there's no forgetting that movie theaters are therefore able to earn more, and therefore the economics of movie making are such that doing a theatrical release and then a delayed release in other media is what earns the most money. So let's not forget that in the end of the day, if there was a way to make more money just by going to home video, maybe many more people will do it. But the truth is the economics doesn't allow for that. This amazing experience cinema screen makes that the best earning medium, and that's the medium that also gives the star value, and therefore the whole ecosystem lives off this tentpole of a cinema, and then all of that flows down to the other media.
So when we talk about different kinds of platforms, that's what we're also saying. We're saying we have different kinds of platforms. For me, it's not that it can't be done. We just have to get more and more creative, because in terms of entertainment, everything has actually changed. The audiences have changed. Their interests are varied. They just don't want to only see like either a Hollywood film or a Bollywood film or your regional film. They want to see anything and everything which is interesting. So you just don't need only big films. You need to have those various other avenues also. And hopefully for me, I still have a problem. I'm not able to communicate the spirituality in the other kind of an OTT platform, is what I'm saying.
Sadly, that's never, yeah, you have to do a live performance to have that.
Well, that's again what I'm saying. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm saying necessity is the mother of invention. So I'm trying to, get myself and create a way. So it's also a way of learning. So I'm not saying this is not good or I'm not able to create. I'm just hoping and praying that this gives me a direction to try and put my art forth in a different way, and hope that I succeed. Films are always there to stay, by the way.
Of course.
There's someone with us whom we can't see, Saloni Sehgal-ji, and we've all been talking about monetization, etc., etc. So there were two very important things, I think, which we need to cover. One is, Senthilji, everything was analog till such time you came with real image. And today, every second person who watches cinema watches through your technology. And Saloni-ji, you are probably one of the few people who have their belief in investing in interactive entertainment space in India. Not too many people have that belief. So I'll first come to Senthil sir. Is it time to reinvent the technology and probably build the Maruti and take it far and wide to the smaller towns, to the villages, maybe to the houses? You've done it once, probably you're the most qualified to do it the second time. And after that, Saloni-ji, what is the new normal in monetizing, investing, recovering, especially in the cinema space?
Right.
I will leave it to the two of you to, whoever wants to go first.
Saloni-ji, please.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Rahul-ji, Firdaus-ji, Shobna-ji, Rahul-ji, and Prasanjit-ji, and Senthil-ji. I apologize for the fact that my video is not working, and to all the listeners, but I'll try and do as much justice as I can through just speaking. So I come to the entertainment business bringing more new media experience in digital media, gaming, interactive entertainment content, and through the journey of an investor and operator across venture capital funds, startups, and global financial institutions. I think what's happened for entertainment, particularly with coronavirus, is that there is this complete paradigm shift in the kind of entertainment that is now exploding. in India particularly, we're seeing this massive, acceleration of digital entertainment that would have previously taken maybe 5-10 years to come, is now coming at this point of time. And over the last, let's say, 5 years or so, we have seen, the early rise of new age media and digital content. OTT arrived and traditional entertainment was still powerful. Then there was the proliferation of user generated content. There was YouTube, there was TikTok, there was Snapchat, but it was still coexisting with traditional entertainment. Then there was the emergence of the increased relevance of video games. But again, at that point of time, traditional entertainment was still pretty much capturing the eyeballs. I think what coronavirus has now done is it has flipped the tables. So India in the last quarter and in the last couple of months actually has reported almost a 35% increase in data traffic. Home broadband connections have increased by 150%. Peak usage hours of people using internet has moved from just a couple of hours a day to now all day, every day. And that kind of digital acceleration is, it's, those numbers are completely mind-boggling, because while we're hearing all these stories of the doom and the gloom, and not to make light of this very dark situation that we're in, at the same time we're seeing this emergence and early birth of this new age entertainment, which India and India's on the horizon for that. And that's essentially the kind of entertainment trends that I and my firm track. And what we like to call it is that entertainment is now evolving from a lean back experience into a lean forward experience. And that has come from the rise of interactive content, that has come from the rise of gaming. And I'll just give you a little bit of context of what that means, that now we're seeing engagement and download of gaming apps have accelerated 30 to 40%. Last year, and I believe that was 2018 or 2009, Indians downloaded 5 billion gaming apps. There are games in India which have 50 million daily active users. And that kind of, those numbers are mind-boggling. And I think what we're seeing in entertainment, and our thesis is that we're seeing entertainment being segmented into various user needs. That entertainment is becoming multi-context, it's becoming multi-format and multi-platform, which is segmented into user requirements, and which are all wonderfully coexisting. I agree with what Rahulji was saying, that there is a context for OTT storytelling and there is a context for cinematic viewing. And what we feel is that cinema experiences will be for those showcasing those grandiose spectacles which are enjoyed by your entire family, your friends. Television and OTT will be part of your home, family, joint content, couples watching television together. And then you've got the mobile, your tablet or your computer, which is now going to be more personalized. It's all about intimate screen time. So you have entertainment which is neatly segmented into various user requirements, all coexisting, and every person is a consumer of all three. Like, for example, all of us would watch an OTT show, but we would also watch a video on our phones, and at the same time we will go to a cinema for theater. So I believe that kind of segmentation is now taking place in the market, and it's perhaps evolved much faster than any of us expected. And things are rapidly evolving. I think I echo the sentiment here about the magic of cinema not vanishing, even though we will see some short-term pain. And not just from the aspects of, let's say, monetization of that theatrical releases account for 2/3 of a film monetization. I have a more fundamental belief that in India, there are lack of outdoor spaces and there are not adequate enough options for family leisure. So that has to bring back people to cinemas eventually, where, going to the cinema is an experience that you do with your family or with close friends, and that experience has to translate back. So it's a bit premature to call cause for the demise of the cinema, which I know, there have been some calls, and I think that's unduly harsh. But at the same time, what we're seeing is the upstart of this new digital media. We're seeing the rise of on-demand entertainment, where there is need for instant gratification with everyday heroes. We're seeing the emergence of new age digital superstars who are leveraging phones and transporting watchers into worlds through the lens of these small devices. We're seeing these massive digital celebrities and influencers come from TikTok, come from Instagram, come from YouTube, who are commanding concurrent views of 200,000, 500,000 people watching them talk about everything from films to games to beauty to leisure, and people are consuming that content. And that's an unleashing of mass creativity. That has democratized entertainment for the masses, where there is something essentially for everyone. And of course, I mean, gaming has been a huge beneficiary. We are seeing Indians enjoying multiplayer gaming. They're digital convergence natives. They're embracing these social mechanics. They're embracing voice. They're embracing video, and they're spending money on games. The previous thought of how Indians don't spend for products online, that mindset has changed. So there's this unlocking of this completely new economy, which has been completely unprecedented. So, while we focus on traditional entertainment as part of this discussion, for me, the future of entertainment, I feel, is now ever evolving. Creators are really pushing the limits of storytelling. There are new big shifts coming on the horizon. There's the emergence of mixed reality. There is the rising virtualization of post-production, the proliferation of new content. So I think it's up for us as an industry to understand, evolve, and embrace this future. And at the same time, understanding how the industry and the government can acknowledge these changes, recognize these trends, and see how, not just traditional entertainment, but digital entertainment can also be supported in the same way.
Excellent.
I think.
Thank you so much, Tony. I have a
sorry, Rahul,
question I'll take afterwards. Senthil sir, over to you with your thoughts. And then please, sir, go ahead.
As far as movies are concerned, India has been very prolific, and it's only been growing year after year. I was just checking the figures for 2019, and we had about 1,400, a little over 1,400 films made across all Indian languages. On top of that, there were dubs of Indian films from one language to another, and on top of that, there were Hollywood films dubbed into Indian languages. So it's a market that has still been growing year after year, and the box office revenues have been over $2 billion in 2019. The thing is that one area where India has been lagging hugely is in the screen density. If you look at, we have about 10,500 screens or a little over that in India today, from a peak of around 12,500, maybe Rahulji, I'm not sure if that would have been in the 90s, down to this level now, and it had fallen much more and has now climbed back up to 10,500 now. But at this level, our screen density is below 8 per million people. If you take a country like the US, it's about 130 screens per million people, but the US is certainly overscreened. So let's not take that example. Let's go to a country like China that has nearly 40 screens per million people, or Australia, which has about 70 screens per million people. So clearly India is terribly behind in the number of screens, and maybe because our screens are larger with an average of about 500 seats per screen, we are making up some of that in seats, but that's inefficient because we no longer have the kind of films that can bring 1,000 people to one hall, except in maybe 20 or 30 days of a year. So a majority of the year is wasted if we have such large screens, and it's far more efficient to have a smaller screen format where the efficiency will be in that it is constantly nearly full. And if there is a large film, you can always fill it with multiple, fill that same movie in multiple screens. But what COVID has done is show us that the malls are threatened not just by e-commerce, but by other things that can derail them completely. And in any case, the real estate cost of malls was until now very high. And maybe now with dropping demand and the realization of work from home, commercial real estate will drop in price, and we will slowly see malls also becoming more realistic in their value. But The far bigger opportunity is for cinema to expand in rural India. We discussed this. Rahulji also mentioned that even Khajuraho doesn't have a screen nearby. I think there are many towns that need additional screens nearby, and we need to build on that very quickly. We saw a recent phenomena where we had partnered with UV Creations to build a 3-screen complex in Sulurpet, which is near Sriharikota, the rocket launch pad, and Sri City, which is a industrial hub. That whole area, which has such a large number of families living across different income groups, didn't have a single screen. And when this little complex came up, occupancy was upward of 95% for most of the large films that opened there. So clearly, more and more greenfield sites in a much smaller form factor are the need of the hour going forward after this crisis, and that's a way that much more of India can get to see first day, first shows and enjoy themselves with a true movie experience.
Thank you so much, Senthilji. Salonji, I was very tempted to take this question with you, if you
Sure.
so oblige. 75 crore people in India get into the middle class. None of them has seen a cinema hall in their whole lives. And if there were companies willing to put in 100, 250, 500 screen for the track in a smaller model, would that interest, if not excite, the investment fraternity?
I think, going back and to consolidate all the, feedback and the information that we've just received from this panel and, the experts who are here, there is definitely, I think there are two elements to it. One is the short-term impact that could give the investment community some pause, and then the long-term potential for it. So let me address the long-term potential. The long-term potential is, I'm a long-term net positive believer that cinema will be still a part of our life, because it is a very viable route of entertainment for all of us, not just us as citygoers, but also people in smaller urban areas to rural areas as well. It's often a very key entertainment source of avenue of entertainment, and because that India is a screen deficient country, makes it a very compelling proposition. In the short term, there are obviously the health and safety concerns of what it means to have a cinema going experience, given that there needs to be social distancing, there needs to be a certain amount of facilities that need to be maintained a certain way, that disinfectants, etc., that need to be maintained. So that's the short-term implication of it. What I do believe that then within the short term, it's a great time to build, and to capitalize on the fact is, what kind of cinemas would they be? Would they be low cost, small seater spaces, which you just suggested? What would it mean in terms of their distribution capability to be able to get the right deals? What kind of cinema would they be able to demonstrate? How would they utilize spare capacity in the opportunity when there are no movies? So I think those are the kind of questions as an investor I would be very keen to try and understand. But I believe that long term, there is still this massive potential of entertaining the masses through the medium of cinema by low cost cinema viewing.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The panel is much wiser, much more august. Anything which you would like to ask each other, speak to each other? I have some homework which I will definitely take. Jadoos as a company believes in the rural space, and I've been reaching out to Senthil and saying that I would do a pilot of 50 sites, each site addressing 20 villages. Good old days, open air theater, low cost, first day, first show, good widescreen, 2K projector, awesome sound. If the pilot works, it can be scaled to 10,000 such open air screens. Some may be closed, but that's our story. I think I cannot, from my side, thank all of you enough, thank ASSOCHAM enough. The audience has a few questions which we've requested them to write by email. What I can take back is something which Jackson Brown said, which kind of applies today, that perseverance has to be our engine and hope has to be the fuel. So so some last words, Prasenjit sir from you, Rahul sir from you, Firdaus Sab. You've got to end it with some hope, some last words.
Yeah, please
think
do.
Please
You're
don't
totally depressed.
please.
there's one area that I think we all need to join together and work to change, which is that we need to, now that OTT is spread so much and there's YouTube and TikTok and everything else, we need to get cinema on a level playing field. It's sad to say that this medium is impeded by something as primitive as censorship, and I won't call it certification because that's not what it is in India. We all need to work together to change that and get it to a level playing field. It can be a voluntary certification that we do to our movies so that parents can control what their children watch. But other than that, there is no reason in 2020 to have the government decide what we can and cannot watch. And it's a panel of very subjective people who often make sometimes ridiculous decisions which we all protest against, and then it's overturned by the courts. It's time again and again taking away from the ease of doing business, and I think the Modi ji and the current government is very keen on removing the impediments to doing business, and this should be something that they can be convinced to support.
Well, Senthil, I think this is something that on my own and lots of other people, we've been talking to the Information Ministry and also directly to the Minister of Information Broadcasting over the last 2-3 years. But this is a different subject completely. You know, we don't know when it's going to happen, though lots of people are asking for this. So I really don't know when this is going to happen, if it happens at all or not. But I would agree with you that yes, it would definitely be a better thing if we can get over censorship, which in today's time is quite redundant to have censorship anymore. But it's there, so we've got to live with it. One more thing, Senthil, is I do not agree on one thing, that cinema is something which should not stay. Cinema and the magic of cinema will stay forever, if you ask me. The magic of seeing a film I agree, I'm all for it, for having smaller screens in smaller places, but the experience of watching a film on a large format, I think, is something where people are going to stay, and it is going to happen. There are a lot of films, I think, which, when they move from this film experience to the OTTs, they do suffer a lot. Recently, this is a personal opinion, I may be wrong. We all watch films with our own personal experiences. I'm talking about Evacuation, which was just released on the OTT on Netflix, whereas it was made for the film. And my personal view on seeing Evacuation was that the grandeur one would expect the way it's been made is not there. Experience is not enough. So I'm coming back to what I've been saying, Senthil, that we need to make our content. All right, we are talking about content producers. Prasenjit spoke very rightly about content producers. Also, Prasenjit spoke very rightly about the whole Indian film industry being looked on it together, not as regional bits. But we need to really focus on what is the final delivery format which we are working on. Is it big screen? Is it OTT? Is it satellite? Or is it the mobile phone? Now for the mobile phone, you also have the vertical. I'm sure you know about it. You're very adept at technology center. So the vertical format is again something new. I watched some of it at Cannes, and I think that's a great format, but it's restricted to your mobile. The delivery platform is what is going to dictate as to the kind of film you make and how you project it. So that's what my feeling is.
So
Rahul,
Samrit, sir, if you could summarize, where would we be sitting in December? In a hall or still halfway through the hall? That would be awesome for the people who are watching. And I think this session is more to get energy to.
Yeah.
Please, sir.
Well, I'm very hopeful, and we all are praying. We all are sitting here. We, as an part of this industry, we all are hoping and we all are praying that the audience should come back very soon to the theaters. And for me, honestly speaking, for me, theater, cinema hall or theater is for me, it is my mandir. I always believe, that's my final destination for an actor. So we always believe that when a theater gets a house full, it's like a mandir to us. So I'm sure there are a lot of other businesses which is getting suffered. There are problems. There are certain things which we also need to identify. We need to make a plan. But I'm very sure very soon the cinema hall magic will start, and theaters, people will come to the theaters and watch our film, Indian cinema, world cinema. So I think we just need to have patience. And again, and last, I need to really say to this industry, as an regional, it's not an regional industry, I'm talking about the Indian cinema. I think the platform has to be there. One guideline has to be there for all the people from the cinema industry. There has to be a guideline which we all need to, follow. Otherwise, what is happening, honestly speaking, because it says India, but we have a lot of regional industry, a lot of different industry. Every industry has their own body. So we are getting a little scattered. We are getting a little confused. If we can have one very solid senior people of the different industry comes together and represent us and comes out to a solution, which can be shooting, it can be exhibition, it can be everything. So we all are sorted with a right direction. But we will surely come to the theater very soon.
Thank you so much, sir. Firdaus Saab, your closing remarks.
Yeah, my closing remark will be, I agree most of the thing what Mr. Ravelji said and Bumba, Prasenjit Da said, that the magic of a movie, magic of a cinema. Producers, director, also the actor. We believe the verdict of the film should come from the audience, and that too from the hall. We wait for that. What is the reaction of the? We made a film, and whether it is good or bad, only that can be. Satisfaction comes when we release in the hall. See, if we make a film and give it to OTT platform, it's more or less like a job work. We made a film for them and we sold it. We don't know how the audience like it or not. No, we don't get any reaction. So our place, we are filmmakers. Our place is theater. We love to be there. We love to see our theaters coming back. We love to see that houseful board written there. And the magic of the cinema, I have already mentioned it before, that in our industry 90% of our film doesn't fail in the box office. 95 to 90 to 95% of film, still the industry is growing every day. That is the beauty of cinema.
So thank you so much. I'd just like to share one very interesting
one more thing I want to add, as Mumada and Mr. Rahul Ravel was saying about a body, and you all know the Film Federation of India is already there. We are considered as the apex body of the film industry. All the constituent, all the big from all region, Bengal, Maharashtra, and South India, they're all. We have around 25 to 30 bodies which are under us, and we represent the producers. We have a producer section, distributor section, and exhibitor section, and we have been acting as a bridge between the industry and the government. And we, after this pandemic, we had a series of meetings, and we had a EC meeting also, and we have put a lot of pressure. We are putting a lot of pressure to the government. We are raising the issues also with the state government and with the central government. As you know that some subjects are with the state and some with the central government. So we are fighting for this, and what I said, that everyone, we need everyone's support. We are there for the film industry. We will go all out for the film industry to restart. The main challenge with us to restart the film industry. The shootings, we have to restart the shooting, the post-production, the pre-production, and at the last we have to restart the cinema hall. Not only restart the cinema hall, we have to see that audience comes back. The big challenge we have. So we are ready to take the challenge. We are already working on it, and we need everyone's support, and everyone in the industry should speak in one voice.
Thank you so much, sirs. I cannot thank ASSOCHAM, FFI, and all of you for taking time out. Monday, busy day, first day of the week.
Sure, we're all really busy now.
Varun, we haven't seen you. Thanks to you. Saloni ma'am, we missed you visually this time, but I'm sure there's going to be a second time.
Thank you.
I personally have got a lot of energy. Thanks to COVID, I see everyone thinking, everyone out with their shoes tied, trying to solve a problem. And I see only energy, to be honest with you. Thank you once again. Thanks to the audience whom we can't see for being with us. Have a very good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
everybody.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you all.
See you all. Bye. Best of luck,
Bye.
Firdaus ji.
Thank you, ma'am.
Best
Bye.
of luck.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Lovely to see
See
you all.
you. Bye. Bye.